Some conversations change our life. It was August 2007, the weather was very pleasant and the mood was vibrant. The autumn leaves were just bringing a certain energy around. August is a beautiful time of the year in London. It is wonderful to see the leaves fall and also watch people enjoy outdoors while it's still warm. So I took a walk with my husband to Greenwich Park on one such day, and the park is so beautiful. It's so inviting and in a blissful way. The trees, the grass, the pond, and the cafes. So we were in the mood to talk, and we got talking about how we met, or should I say, made to meet. So I was very curious. I asked him, how did you decide to marry me? And he said, oh, I knew from the very first time we met that we would be good for each other. But that's not how I felt. I just wanted to know whether this guy was right for me, and I remember being outspoken from the very first hello. A lot of memories flash back because arranged marriages are so interesting. The siblings, the parents, and the extended family of the bride and the groom are so involved in the wedding. Sometimes they go out of the way to help. My husband asked, did I ever tell you about the conversation your father had with me on our wedding night? I was not surprised that he had a conversation, but I had no clue about it. So he went on to say, your father took me out for a walk and he said to me, my daughter is an uncut diamond. She has some rough edges. But if you are patient and you polish her, she will shine. And he also added, I know you can do it. I looked at my husband and said, did he really say that? To that my husband chirped and said, he said that, and you have to give it to me for the courage that I took on this challenge. We decided to sit down under a tree because I just wanted to reminisce all those moments of those growing up years. And my mind went back to a time during my teen years when I jumped over my father's clothes. You know, my father has an OCD. He loves to arrange things at home into boxes and cupboards. And he cannot stand things strewn around in the house. But I had told him that he can do anything with other things, but not mine. So one day when I came back from school and I opened the cupboard to change out of my uniform, a bunch of clothes fell over my head. I was so annoyed because he had done it again. So I walked into his room, I opened his cupboard, pulled out all his nicely ironed clothes and jumped over them. As I thought about this moment, there was a certain happiness, there was a smile, and also sadness. And then my mind went on to the time when he talked to me about the story behind my name. He had named me Anupama, hoping that I would emulate the personality of a movie character by the same name who never spoke against her father. Unfortunately for him, just naming me that didn't work. But I learned something from my father that I can never forget about. And that incident is so fresh in my mind. There was a time several years ago when my father and I had taken a trip by ourselves. And when we returned home, my brother had agreed to pick us up. We were waiting at the railway station and my brother was nowhere in sight. My father was getting impatient and he looked around and he spotted a stranger far away and he said, go up to him, and he was holding a mobile phone. He said, ask him if you can use his phone to call home. I was shocked. I said, really? I'm not doing this. I resisted it so much because I couldn't take the idea of that man saying no to me. So I kept resisting, saying, what if he said no to me? While my dad kept persisting, saying, what if he said no to you? And finally I gave in. I went up to that man. I could use his phone because he gave it to me with a smile, and because of that, we figured out my brother was just sleeping at home. He had completely forgotten about the pickup. But that changed my equation with the courage to ask for help. As I sat there and I thought of all these wonderful moments, I started to wonder the number of rough edges my father must have seen in me, yet he was hopeful that I could shine. That really moved me. I felt I had to do something about it. And then, I went on this journey of self-discovery. I wanted to learn more about myself and see if I can continue polishing myself. The truth is that some conversations change our life. For me, it was the conversation that I had with my husband, which my husband had with my father. And the truth is, I have not had a conversation about that conversation with my father so far. Thank you.